Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Canadian Retro. I've got another pickups video for you here, and there's going to be something a little bit different coming on with this pickups video. I'm also going to be probably changing the focus of the channel here, although it is still going to be video game related. It seems that the thrift stores in my area, at least, either have absolutely nothing, so they're being picked before they get there, or on the opposite end of that, they have plenty of stuff, but unfortunately they're eBay pricing like crazy. Even if you throw a 20% off card at those things, it's not even worth picking them up at those prices, because otherwise I'd just be shopping online. So in some cases I haven't been able to find very much reasonable things. Now I do have some things here, but realize this has been quite some time of different pickups for what I'm showing you here. So we're going to be changing the focus of the channel a little bit, just to keep it going, but I do have an interest in that, and I'll explain all that later. Don't worry, the channel's still going to be here, just trying to find different ways of expanding the content here. So that being said, I'll show you some of the things that I did pick up very recently. First thing here is actually for my buddy Josh Creepleet. I picked these up. These are some Game Gear, sorry I'm missing my words there, some Game Gear bootleg carts. So according to these, you know, they're Game Gear games, but they seem to have sort of Nintendo themed things on them. So first one says Dr. Hello. I don't know what that is, probably Dr. Mario. Super Boy 2, Bomb Jack, Galaga, Bubble Bobble, Load Runner, Road Fighter, Exerion. So I don't know a lot necessarily about that one. This one doesn't really have a list on it, but on the front here you can see Pac-Man, Pongo, Columns, and there's a few other like puzzler kind of looking things in there as well. So I thought those were pretty neat, and for $8 each, you know, I pick them up for him. He said he was interested, so that's going to be going his way at some point here. Also, I picked up this, which is just a copy of Naruto Clash of the Ninja 2 Revolution on the Wii. I'm not even sure if I have this one yet, but I picked it up. It was actually at a convenience store, sitting with a whole bunch of different like media there, and everything was $2. So I decided to go for it. Disc is in like decent shape. The guy said that everything there worked. I don't have a lot of faith in that necessarily, but and you know, came with the manual, but it also came with this Sonic the Hedgehog manual for, what is this for? For the PlayStation 3. So that was also shoved in behind the actual manual. So that's pretty cool right there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about this one. I think it's just like a fighter type of game, so that's pretty cool right there. And again, like I said, I paid $2 for that, so pretty cool. I also picked this up, which I thought was decently priced, and I used a $2 off card, so I think I got this for about $12. And that is Dot Hat Mutation Part 2. Unfortunately, with this, I'll actually have the receipt in here. Just a second. So I paid $11.29. Yeah. I have the 2 discs are there, which is fine, but it is missing the manual, unfortunately. But I didn't have this, so I thought that's a pretty good find right there. I know it goes for more than that, or I'm fairly certain it does. So just checking out some disc conditions. The discs themselves look pretty mint, so pretty happy again with this particular pickup. I'm glad to find things that I can add into the collection. As you can tell, that gets harder and harder these days. Unvideo game related, but I've been kind of getting into a little bit of Blu-ray action. Nothing crazy, if I find something that's sort of retro on Blu-ray, I grab it and I just sort of gravitate toward it, like 80s movies, stuff like that. And so this was, you know, the Terminator. I thought I'd grab that. Again, you know, it's all beautiful in there and everything. So, you know, experience it in high definition. Why not? You know, I got PlayStation 3 hooked up just for playing Blu-rays right now. So that's pretty exciting right there. And then something that was a really decent score, and the one of the employees was like, oh, I really wanted to get that when he saw it being put out, was this right here, which was a complete, well, kind of complete in box. I'll have to explain a little bit, but the black version of the Wii. If you open it up inside, like one of the trays is missing in here. I think everything's in here. I haven't tested any of it. Box is not in perfect shape. There is like a little bit of wear and things on the corners, but I didn't have this variant of the Wii in this box format, so pretty cool. And I already have the discs that go, you know, in there. I do have those. I've found those thrifting before. I don't know again if they're necessarily in there. I was kind of in a bit of a rush, but I did see that the system was in there. It says $42.99 on it. I used a 20% off card, so I think I paid about 38 bucks for it, which I think is a great deal for this. I don't know if I'll have room to display it, but I picked that up, so I thought that was a pretty good score right there. I think most of it's in there for the most part. If not, you know, I can piece the rest of it together, kind of thing. Something else that I did pick up as well for $4 is a remote here. This is a HP like Windows Media type remote. The reason why I picked this up is, and showing you it right now, is because this kind of relates to what I'm going to be getting into here in the future for the channel. Obviously, I'll still be picking up games when I find them, but you know, that's few and far between these days, and that's unfortunate, but still, I'm pretty happy with how things kind of worked out here over the years, so I'm not too worried about that. But I'm going to be changing the focus of the channel. This plays an important part into it, and I'm going to be taking you down to my totally messy garage right now to show you what's going on down there. So come on, let's go. All right, so here we go. This is the mess I'm getting myself into now. I'm going to be building a Windows 98 computer. None of these are era specific to Windows 98, although some of them are really close. And I think sort of overpowering it a bit will help it out. I have done a Windows 98 computer. I have one up in the game room, but it's too new of a system, so there's a lot of conflicts with drivers and stuff like that. It really isn't good for Windows 98, but it's sort of my first go at it, and I was playing around with it, installing it, getting it to work, getting some drivers to work, getting sound cards working, stuff like that. So, you know, after that kind of process of it, I wanted to jump in and see what I could do. So I picked these up essentially from thrifting, although 3 of them came from a Facebook Marketplace deal, which was a really good deal, better than what I was getting at the thrift store. So pretty happy with that. So I'm just going to go through them really quickly here, because I'll get into videos later where you know, you're looking inside all of these. So I'm not really going to get into that aspect of it yet, just because that's pretty in-depth for a pickup video. So what we got here, the first one here, this is probably the ugliest machine of them all. I paid 10 bucks for it. It's a Dell Inspiron 530. This one here, again, this is I think it's the Pentium 4. I'm not even sure, but it originally had Vista on it, so I think it says Pentium inside, but it says Vista, so I'm not really sure about that. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty dusty and gross inside this Dell, so it might just be like really a parts machine, getting cables out of, things like that. I paid 10 bucks for it. You know, if you're trying to buy cables, you're probably going to pay more for that than it. So, but blowing it out, it basically looks like a cat was blended in here. There's so much fur and stuff in there, it's pretty crazy. So that's that one right there. That was one of the first ones I picked up when I got this crazy brained idea going on. This one here I'll save to the end, because I think that's probably going to be the base machine right here. And originally it would have been one of these two, but we'll see. This is the second one I picked up. I got this for $15. This is a Dell Dimension 4600, has a couple of drives in it, so that's really why I'm picking these things up, because I'm sure some of the drives in these probably don't work. You know, and I want to kind of get the best of all worlds kind of thing going on. So, you know, I might be able to tear some drives out of that for this guy later. But
looking at this one right here, what does it have going for it? Obviously, it has a disk drive, as does this other model. Does not actually, I think it does actually, but for some reason the mechanism jammed a little bit. But yeah, so this one here probably would be the better one, because this one here, although they look the same, this is a 3000, Dell Dimension 3000. This one has a few more options in it. So originally I was going to try to go with this one, which is the Pentium 4 right here. So I'm not sure, I might have to go back to this one. We'll see what happens. Unfortunately, when I was cleaning this thing out, I think I damaged the chip pins, so I might have screwed this one up, but maybe the chip in this one might actually work in this one. They seem fairly compatible. So I don't know if I did that for sure. I got it back in there, but I don't know if I straightened everything out, but I don't know if I did it perfectly. We'll have to see when I fire that one up. This one here also has a hard drive in it. This, I believe, does not. Neither does any of these have hard drives in them. I'm going to see if I can do a Windows 98 with an SSD, because I do have one lying around. I think it'll just be cleaner, less likely to drive failure, that kind of thing. Less heavy. Just a lot of benefits to using an SSD. So I'm going to get into that. So that sort of covers this one, and generally covers this one. They're very similar machines. This one here is also a Pentium 4 computer, and I was also thinking this could possibly be a good candidate. I like the gigantic form factor of it, just kind of reminds me of that era. The problem with this one is I know that it has a couple of caps that are busted on them, so they've bursted. Not all over the board, but they've rusted on top and things like that, so I'm not really sure like the functionality of that. When I got this one and this one and this one, I went in on a Facebook deal basically for these three. I really just wanted these two, and I said, you know, I'll give you 20 bucks each for them. And he was trying to upsell me on this one, and I didn't want it because it's a it's a Vista machine, it's newer, that kind of thing. I wasn't really that interested, although there are some usable parts in there, obviously, for making a Windows 98 machine. Between all of these, I'll probably be able to get a Windows XP machine too out of it. But I really just wanted these two because they were the Pentium 4s, and I thought that'll be the sort of the quickest platform. I know purists and stuff are like, that's the wrong era, whatever. You know, they should be like, it should be a Pentium 3 or 2 or whatever for a Windows 98 machine. But no, I don't care. They'll work for that. They'll work for that, and they'll be fast. They'll be plenty fast for it. And there might be some benefits to, you know, the boards that they're in, having, you know, some different options for layouts. But back to the story. Yeah, I went in on these two, and then the guy was trying to upsell me on this one. I was like, no, I'm not really interested. Like, he wanted like 10 bucks for it. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not really interested in it. I don't want it. And so when I showed up, I was picking up these two, and he's like, you sure you don't want this one? I'm like, I'm really not interested. It's the wrong era of machine. I'm not looking for a machine like that. I just don't really want it. He's like, well, take it anyways, because he didn't want it. So he threw that one in the deal. So for those three computers, I paid 40 bucks. So that was a pretty good deal right there. That being said, I'm not going to get too much more into this. I've already been going on about them a little bit more than I should probably for a pickups video, but this is the sort of status of where I'm at. I picked up a few supplies like soldering iron, this kind of thing. For this as well, solder, some flux, that kind of thing. I do have some of those things around, but I picked up something a little more portable for doing jobs like this. And I'm gonna jump into it. I'm gonna dive into this. So I'm pretty excited about it. We're gonna get a Windows 98 machine that can play DOS games as well. That's the goal. Because I wanted to play a few of the classics that I remember playing when I was a kid, like Syndicate, Crusader, No Remorse. There's a few different ones in there that I really enjoyed back in the day, and I really want to start delving into that, because it seems like I can pick up systems cheaper than I can pick up games when it comes to these computers. So that's going to be the new direction of the channel. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do feel free to thumbs up this video, comment down below, and I'll see you all later.